And so considering how bad things have gotten, corporate media, who's still trying to keep the Democratic Party alive, decided that they were going to give a platform to a Democratic congresswoman to talk about corruption in politics.
Who's going to talk about that?
Well, it's funny you should ask, Jen.
Authorizing a $50,000 emergency paint job on a house for unqualified Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth to live in, with another $137,000 in improvements.
How can she do this? How can she sit there and talk about that? Oh my God.
Don't you just like that look on her face?
I can't watch. She is so filthy and corrupt and makes so much money off of war and insider trading. And she's sitting there talking about a paint job of someone's house when I don't understand.
Debbie, and I know somebody in Debbie's circle is going to see this video. The amazing thing about you making a statement about political corruption, about $50,000, and yet you sit there with that genocidal pin.
Your yellow ribbon.
Your yellow ribbon.
Home.
Debbie, how much money have you earmarked for the genocidal state of Israel? Oh. Debbie, you were the #1 insider trader in the Democratic Party 2 of the last 3 years.
I can't believe she's sitting there bitching about corruption and millionaires when she has been fleecing the system and making herself rich for 30 years.
And of all the things that you want to attack Doge on, you want to go after Pete Hegseth because he got a $50,000 marker for.
Do you see what Chris is saying? I agree. It's very triggering. We need an alert. When
Let's
you're going to put her up.
Let's hear what else this.
I can't take it for long, but okay, go on.
Why is he not paying for his own housing?
Why are you?
And why do we need a $50,000 paint job for him when we're cutting billions in medical research and closing the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau?
Let me explain something to you, eyes wide shut. That's a perfect capture, too, because she is eyes wide shut.
Oh, my God.
Of all the people to talk about the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, you are the person who has been as anti-labor as anybody. You were on the board of ALEC.
Which, by the way, people, she has since had her name scrubbed. But
DWS sat on the board of one of the most conservative, anti-labor nonprofits in all of Washington, D.C. You want to talk about an organization that made it their mission to end all organized labor?
I know. Do you see? You're freaking out, everybody in the chat. We really need a trigger warning for this. People do not like her. It's grating.
We'll finish it.
Which has returned $20 billion to the taxpayers from financial abuses.
Yeah, I'm not even going to try to answer that question.
Yeah, you shouldn't even be talking to her, Alicia.
Oh my God, make her go away.
So
she's
my
so
question
reptilian.
Is,
you guys, she is. She's very reptilian, Debbie.
Well, it's the eye.
Like snake. Yeah. Like if you ever, and I don't recommend this, certainly not on a full stomach, but if you ever see a picture of her and you go close up her eyes, she does have, like, her eyes look like snake eyes. I'm not kidding. Like,
well,
it's
I've
really
always
creepy.
said she's kind of like Peter Thiel. It's like she's trying to break out of her skin. It's like if they're, much like in the movie They Live, if there is a person underneath that skin, like I think there is with Peter Thiel, well, Debbie would be another person where you would think, oh, they're just trying to break out of their.
She's a lizard person, but let's also be very clear. None of this, and I don't think anybody thinks this, but I am by no means supporting a $50,000 paint job for Pete Hegseth's house. Okay, so, but and I said this in the beginning with Doge. Quite honestly, with any of this stuff, unless you are starting with the Pentagon, you're wasting our time.
And Sable is correct. You know, Savvy apparently pointed this out on her show today. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, yeah, they were able to bring back $20 billion out of God knows probably hundreds of billions of dollars that was stolen. It's kind of like, as you've pointed out, Jen, the mega corporations will always continue to do what they're doing. because if they commit major crimes, for example, like, is it, guys, what's the name of the railroad that derailed in East Palestine?
Norfolk Southern.
Norfolk Southern. I was thinking Pacific Coast. I can't remember the name.
No, Norfolk Southern.
Here's the thing about Norfolk Southern. If Norfolk Southern.
Norfolk Southern.
That's what I said.
Okay.
Norfolk, Virginia. Same thing. So if Norfolk Southern had to pay a fine of, let's say, $2 billion, but their profits are $20 billion, then who cares?
Nobody.
It's the cost of doing business, baby.
Well, why are the Sacklers not being prosecuted criminally? Does anybody, like, you actually now in this country can pay your way out of criminal liability that would otherwise require incarceration. And I don't mean even legitimately through just hiring good lawyers.
Thank you, Yellow Bite.
Don't blame, wrote in for the feminine, younger, anti-Zionist Jew for Florida. I'm assuming that's me. That's cute.
While Republicans got cancer research.
Oh, can you at least, for people listening, so this is what Debbie Wasserman Schultz, this was her post. Read it.
This was her post that was attached to that video we just played.
Okay.
While Republicans gut cancer research, millionaire Secretary of Defense, Debbie, you're a millionaire too.
This is why this woman with the insider trading and sitting there and
you know how I know that Debbie Wasserman Schultz is a millionaire, ladies and gentlemen? I don't even need to look at her records. I know that she lives in a $1 million+ home in a gated community in Western Florida.
We do know that, but no, because she's the #1 insider trader in Congress. You don't be the #1 insider trader in Congress if you're not millions of dollars. That doesn't make any sense.
So I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret about what a complete hypocrite Debbie Wasserman Schultz truly is. She's complaining about a $50,000 emergency paint job on her home. Debbie Wasserman Schultz, for all intents and purposes, may have to spend over the course of a year, maybe a 2-year period, $50,000 in her HOA fees alone. So this is somebody who just likes to make up shit. It's to, and again, if you're going to go and make some type of a argument against the other side or some justification, even though she is the worst possible person.
Her talking about bloat and corruption is just, I don't even.
I mean, you want to talk about Rich? This is beyond Rich.
Can you make her go away?
So scroll up, Colin, please. We really do not need to see her.
You can't look at her anymore, Colin.
But I put out this tweet on behalf of Jen and I that got a lot of traction. And I said, you have voted no on single-payer health care all 20 years you've been in Congress. You do not care about people suffering from cancer. And she's a 3-time breast cancer survivor.
She loves playing her breast cancer survivor card.
And should be investigated for insider trading, including for-profit health companies.
And there's another thing about her. Debbie takes alcohol industry money. And for people who do not know, alcohol is one of the contagions or whatever, if you will, that leads to cancer. There's a cancer cause there. And I'm not anti-alcohol. I'm just stating a scientific fact. And yet she takes money from that industry hand over fist. So, so she's in favor of cancer help for people who can afford it because she only cares that she got help with her breast cancer. But women who don't have the means as her, we don't care about that.
Now, I've said before that there were many things that did not go correctly when Jen ran this time around. And they've been done differently. If there was more capital, it could have been a different race for sure. But Jen, you decided that you were running on a platform of, I don't care if I win or not. I have to get this message out there about this woman and what Zionism really means, what it represents, and how quickly people ran away from her. But I will tell you, the reason why Debbie has been able to skip on any type of legitimate challenge for very long is because the people who traditionally vote in the congressional district that she represents live behind gated walls. And it is very difficult to canvass that particular district.
There's a lot of variables. We know there's a lot of variables. And the Israel issue is an issue for them. That's an issue for them. And I don't care because I know that the amount of people that we connected with, and the friends we made, the coalition we built, people are appreciative of just thinking somebody's being their voice and just somebody sees them and has their back. And these are people that she won't ever pay attention to.
No, but I do believe that there will come a day where Wasserman Schultz is going to have to answer for her crimes. I do believe that will happen.
Well, I'm a pretty big believer in like karmic, the organic nature of karma. So, I believe people get what they have coming.
How does that saying go? The arc of history is long, but it bends towards justice.